It's mostly about hockey, and we bring you the net results. Mistakes lead to goals for the home squad, and the OT winner finds the back of the net. Away we go! Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. After a long show the last time, short one tonight.
Well, yeah, just not everybody quite yet in action, but we want to keep you up to date. Both hockey teams are well underway. Girls basketball has their first game under their belt. And beyond that, just a lot to talk about upcoming, because a lot of things happening this week.
Correct.
We start with the girls hockey team. They are the deepest into their season. Last week, a couple of top 10 teams, starting with number 8, Benilde St. Margaret's, and it did not go the CPCR way. They lose 8-2 to the Knights. June Semling and Tessa Bowden had the goals. Bowden on a penalty shot, second game in a row that CPCR has had a penalty shot. You just don't see that very often. A good effort from Wastrel, made 36 saves, but saw the puck an awful lot in that contest. Well, the CPCR squad hosted conference and section rival Maple Grove on Saturday. The Crimson came in ranked 7th, but they were just a game ahead of the home team in the standings. After 3 lopsided losses to top 10 teams, it was time for CPCR to take a stand. Maple Grove started the scoring just over 2 minutes in, but CPCR answers almost immediately. Lily McKenzie behind the defense, nets her 8th of the season. Game is tied at 1. Crimson took the lead a couple minutes later, and Abby Oakland gets them some breathing room with a fortunate bounce. Oakland gets in deep, and her centering pass goes off a skate and under Wastrel. That makes it 3-1 Crimson midway through the first. CPCR able to respond again by controlling the rest of the period. Great setup right here. Bernovic putting it on a tee for June Semling. She hammers it home. Makes it a 1-goal game. Final minute of the first CPCR power play had just ended. A shot from the wing is stopped, but the rebound is just sitting there for Caitlin Easton. She scores, and the game is tied at 3. And the score remains the same into overtime. Crimson attacking a blocked shot helps spring June Semling. She races down the wing and fires it past the keeper, giving CPCR its first ever win over Maple Grove. A thriller to be sure. 4-3 the final in overtime. A pair of goals again for June Semling, who is leading the team and having a phenomenal sophomore season. But how much fun, not only the way that it happened, but to finally kind of get a monkey off their back and knock off the Crimson.
Oh, it's a huge win for them. I mean, we talk about their schedule and how tough it is. And now they're facing another top 10 team. And they really, it was a great first period. 6 goals scored. Nothing in the second, nothing in the third until that overtime goal by June Semling. And I was texting a little bit back and forth with Coach Gutty, saying what a great win and you know what a fun goal that was in overtime. And he seemed a little more impressed with her first goal of that game, which was phenomenal as well. But
it was just a beautiful setup, to be sure. More impressive, I thought, was a solid team defensive effort on the part of CPCR for the remainder of the second, third, and overtime periods. Led to them having more opportunities at the offensive end and some great scoring chances that they just weren't able to bury. Easily could have won that in regulation. However, Crimson, obviously a very good team. They could have won it in regulation as well. But great to serve notice to the rest, especially Maple Grove, who is a section rival, a team that's ended their season 3 years in a row. Also, I'm sure Centennial was paying attention as another section rival.
Well, and the Crimson were smart, and after a 3-2 loss to Minnetonka, obviously, and they came in thinking, well, this is an opportunity for us to get back on the winning track. And CPCR made sure that they did not. It was fun.
Well, the girls are at Anoka on Tuesday this week. Another top 10 team, number 5 in single A Warroad, coming to town on Saturday.
That will be a test for sure. Well, the boys hockey team had just one game last week. The SLPCR Co-op's first ever home game on Crick on Tuesday. They hosted a St. Michael Alberta team that is young but talented. It was a season opener for the Knights, who are looking for a big season after 2 years with only 5 wins each. It was a fun back and forth battle, and it required overtime to find a winner. Coon Rapids kids were carrying the mail on their home ice, scoring all of the team's goals against the Knights. Caden Alpin's goal gave SLPCR a 1-0 lead early in the first. But STMA had next 5 sophomore Braden Waller scored 2 goals 11 seconds apart in the second period to help the Knights grow their lead. Well, they're already up 4-1. STMA adds a power play goal early in the period. Alex Hernandez with a one-timer just over the glove of Brock Lewis. Knights up by 4. SLPCR answers that one quickly. Good pressure and a takeaway for Brody Herzog. He feeds Jackson Barsness alone out front. He does not miss. 4-goal lead lasted just 11 seconds, and it sparks the comeback just 30 seconds later. Herzog finds Barsness alone out front again. He hammers it home, his second. Home team had all the momentum and pretty much owned the puck for the final 10 minutes. Check out the passing on this one. A beauty through the seam. Caden Lichter, Andrew Clark nets his first of the season. So all of a sudden it's a 1-goal game with 7 minutes left. Lichter with another great cross-ice pass. Jackson Enberg able to walk in the top circle, rip the wrister as you saw, top shelf, come back complete 5-5 with 4:30 to play. Well, boys had some good chances late in regulation and early in the OT, but it's STMA that's able to convert. They're buzzing in the zone. Waller rips it off the post. Tanner Esterberg is there to put it into the wide open net. The Knights skate away with the win. A great comeback for SLPCR is all for naught. 6-5 STMA would be the final.
Yeah, interesting that it was all Coon Rapids kids that got the goals. To leave Barsness all by himself in the slot the first time, okay, things happen. But 30 seconds later, same guy wide open at the top of the crease again. Goaltender may have wanted to have a talking to that defensive pairing. But it was a fun game. It really was. I would have loved to have seen them finish it either in overtime or early, complete the comeback and get the win. But some confidence that they have the ability to come back from a big hole, because it was definitely a big hole, early in the third period.
Well, we talked about that, the fact that they were able to. Some teams would have just hung their head. They're down by that amount and just said, you know what, we'll regroup and play the next game. But, they fought it back. It's unfortunate they couldn't do it. And I'm sure the Knights were breathing a sigh of relief because they had that big lead and able to get the win.
And it was a wild third period, a lot of penalties. The last 2 SLPCR goals were both scored 4v4. It was fun. It was a wild way for us to see our first SLPCR game, and we look forward to many more. They host St. Louis Park on Tuesday, then Maple Grove on Thursday, and then they travel to face Lakeville North on Saturday. So after easing in with their first 3 games, things get very real the end of this week. Wrestling team opens its schedule with a visit from the Anoka Tornadoes, the battle for the Golden Shoes, on Friday. And Howie?
We'll be there.
They will host a tournament on Saturday. Gymnastics team still has a little bit of time to get ready for their opener, which is on the 12th against Rogers. Then they will be at Andover. Blaine. Centennial will also be there on the 14th. That is a Saturday. We will hopefully have Jerry Grant. Well, I know Jerry Grant is going to visit with the gymnastics team this week, and we'll have a preview for them next week. We hope to get him out, or myself out, to visit with the swim team next week to have a preview for them the following week. The swimming and diving team has the relays on Saturday the 14th. Their first dual meet is on Tuesday the 17th. Nordic ski team has already crossed a couple of meets off of its calendar, hoping they will get their first event on next Wednesday at Woodland Trails. They are scheduled to be at Elm Creek on Thursday the 19th. Alpine ski team will have the first 2 races at Wild Mountain, the first on December 17th, the second not again until January the 9th. Boys basketball team opens the season with a pair this week. They are at Blaine on Tuesday. They will host New Prague on Thursday. And Howie?
We'll be there.
Girls basketball team will also have a pair of games this week, but they actually got their season started last week against conference rival Andover, and it did not go well for the Cardinals. They lose 72-35. Jakaya Palmer, a 15-point effort. Cooper added 10, and Aaliyah Graham had 6. They will host Blaine on Tuesday. And Howie?
We also will be there.
and then at Cambridge Isanti on Saturday. And we were talking a little bit about it before the show. A tough row to hoe for the girls basketball team. Replacing an entire starting five plus a couple of your top bench players requires a lot, and it may take some time for things to gel.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, they've got a tough one, obviously, against Blaine. I actually had a chance to talk to Coach Bruce Stewart today, the Blaine head coach, and he's got a team that he's pretty excited about, and he gets an all-conference player back who was out most of the season. This will be her first game back against the Cardinals. So it's always a test in this conference for sure, and the Lady Cardinals are going to be up for the challenge.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing them for the first time on Tuesday. Busy week for the CTN crew. We will be at the Fieldhouse Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Girls basketball against Blaine, boys basketball against New Prague, and then wrestling against Anoka. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.